TMG, we had RS. I know we were really hoping that one of our guys was going to be able to make it to the final two, and we got really fortunate that they both made it.
So let's start the game then. As both these players in the staging area, ready to go. Their races have been chosen. The countdown has begun.
Common move, both spamming good luck, good games, spamming it as fast as they can.
Showing those lead keyboard skills.
These are some fast players. We have Terran, top left, Yosh, and we have Day, bottom left with Zerg. Sean looks like for the first time he's going to be scouting the wrong spot. And we have an update now. Actually, can I see that update again?
This just in.
All right, for the third place match, Nyokin, the old school Terran player, beats Coco, the Zerg player.
It looked like 2-1 there.
Yeah, I believe it was actually 2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
Now this is a really interesting. This is going to be really exciting if Zerg wins, because Zerg has never won a WCG in USA before. I know it's most commonly it's been Froz, the famous Terran player, who also managed to beat Boxer twice at WCG. And 1 year it was also Rekroll, who managed to become a pro gamer in Korea temporarily. He was a very famous Protoss player, also very old school. So if Sean wins this, it'll be history for Zerg.
You know what? I got to say, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And the reason I say that is because Sean right now taking that Overlord in the complete wrong direction, looking for his opponent.
You know, it looks like he's going to scout with the drone anyways in the opposite spot. Because he doesn't want to not know where Terran is early. He wants to see if Terran's going to do some kind of rush.
So we're going to send 2 scouts out, 1 Overlord and 1 drone. We have a scout out now, and an SCV for Sherwin.
Now Sherwin opted to not wall in, which he did have the option to do. I'm betting that he's not going to do fast gas. Sean's told me, he says if Terran goes fast gas on this map, I'll crush him. He knows exactly what to do. All right, it looks like we might see another barracks pop up here almost immediately.
We haven't seen any
Drone's just trying to do some damage here. He's just trying to attack that SCV while it's building and do anything to slow Sherwin down. Because Sean's, as we can see over here at the bottom, he's starting up an expansion.
The first Terran barracks going up. Sean.
Now I'm curious to see how Yosh opens here, because if he does some kind of rush and it doesn't work, this could be definitely a one-sided game. We'll have to see.
That barracks almost finished. Sherwin throwing 3 more SCVs on it now, and building a second barracks just beside it. That drone's not going to be able to fend off all of those SCVs working on those buildings.
And you have to notice how good Sean's control is here, even with this drone. I mean, he's actually managed to get the one SCV that was making the barracks to stop making it. This one drone might actually
being swarmed now by 5 more SCVs. He decides, okay, I've had enough. I'll back off for a moment.
Now he might. Is he going to go? All right, Sean was probably going up there to try to take the Terran's gas. Terran already took it.
Now Sherwin has found the early expansion of Sean, and he is using one of those SCVs just to delay the building of that new hatchery momentarily.
Looks like we got the first Marine moving out. I think we can count on seeing a bunker rush. But this is also many times used to just threaten Zerg, to make Zerg uneasy. I mean, he could turn around just as easily right now. Okay, Zerg, he's getting greedy. Taking another expansion. He's double expanding.
We've got a Vespine gas refinery built for the Terrans.
And this Marine decided to turn around, saw the drones up here, realized maybe I should wait. Terran now seeing the 3rd expansion.
Zerg building a secondary expansion as well. SCV has found both expansion positions now of Sean.
Now, to be honest with you, it's rather unfortunate for Yost, because this is not a map you can mech on, I don't think. I mean, there's not a lot of terrain and elevation. I mean, he's got to play by the book this game, which means he's got to go Medic Marine. So what we're going to see here is if his Medic Marine is as strong as his mech.
Seeing a Marine start to rally on the bottleneck exit just below the starting position of Sherwin here.
SCV running around. He wants to see when the layer's going to come up. Zerg just took gas. He's going to take a peek in here. If he sees the layer, he knows that the tech has started. Sean making an unhappy face.
No.
Now that he got to get in there and see the layer.
Now this is an interesting tactic here. We're seeing sunken colonies built just on each side of those expansions. So that's going to aid in keeping any kind of military that Sherwin could just waltz right into Sean's base from doing so.
Well, if you take a look at Sherwin's base, Sherwin made the factory before the academy. That means he wants to get the tanks out fast. He wants to do some kind of push. And let me tell you something. I've watched Sean at home. I've watched him do this strategy, and he's told me that if there's one thing he does not want to have the Terran do on this map, it's do a fast tank push against this. So we're going to see something close coming up here very soon.
And then Sean feels if his opponent goes fast gas, he can win. But if he goes early tank push, it's going to mean trouble.
Well, what Sean wants the Terran to do is to let him tech. He wants to let him get a big army. Zerglings barely got in here by the skin of their teeth. Got a peek at the fast factory. Sean knows what's about to happen. Fast push. Throwing up more sunks.
Is this exactly what Sean had feared?
Yes, it is.
This is not good news.
This is not good news.
Have more sunken colonies being built, trying to bring both of these Zerg expansions together.
Now you got to notice there's only one way Terran can get out over here, and that's where the sunks are. There's a small choke Terran can push through. What we might see is the moment that Yosh gets that tank up, which he is doing right now, Zerg's going to throw up like maybe 5, 6, even 7 sunken colonies and try to buy time until he can get Mutilisks and maybe pick off that tank. The Marines can't get in there. It's the tank that's going to have to shoot down the sunken colonies to let the Marines run in and just destroy everything.
And we do have that first siege tank out and moving towards Sean's position.
I don't like this. I don't know why Sean made a Spire there. If he gets pushed and he breaks through, he can kill the Spire. The Spire's really near those sunken colonies. I don't know if this was a good idea.
Having those Marines move down towards those expansion positions, so one siege tank is going to try and slowly move in with that siege tank, placing it into siege mode, moving the Marines in.
All right, watch this SCV. It's probably going to be making a bunker. He's going to start building a miniature defensive line right outside of the creep. Tank. Okay, now notice this, the spacing of the sunken colonies. He wants to set up so the tank has to unsiege, move forward, siege, unsiege, move forward, siege again. He's got to try to buy time.
Slow that progression down in trying to enter his base.
Yes, exactly. The Terran deciding to back up a little bit. I'm actually a little bit curious as to why.
Maybe he didn't have as many tanks that he decided he needed.
I'm not sure. He decided to go back. He might have. He probably saw the Spire already got up. Decided. Now, you know, Sean did get the Spire up before the push actually commenced. That's normally not a good thing for a fast tank push.
We have an engineering bay going down for the Terrans. A Terran Academy built as well. So we were going to see a medic marine combination. We have 2 siege tanks down now. And we have seen that factory stay fairly quiet from Sherwin.
Yeah, he only got 2 tanks. He saw the Spire come up. You know, tanks don't kill Mutilisks, Marines do. So I guess he decided that it's time. He's putting the Marines over here at the bottom left corner, hoping that when the Mutilisks come over here to take a peek, they're all going to get shot down.
Looks like we have some Mutilisks moving in.
These Mutilisks are going to run right into these Marines. With his Sherwin's moving the Marines. Oh no.
He's trying to go around the sides. He's not going to make it back to those SCVs and hinder the economy of his opponent.
You know, when you have that many Mutilisks and it's that many Marines, the Mutilisks die in seconds. I mean, you got to be so careful.
Trying to take another angle at the base of Sherwin, moving to the north side now.
Sean's going to try to take a peek over here. Top left.
Is he going to be able to sneak in? He does.
Sean
and then he backs
sees
off.
The tanks. Sees the tanks have siege mode. Okay, this is Mutilisk. Probably the unhappiest Mutilisk in the game right now. Just got shot down.
Bringing those Mutilisks back to his base. Sean backing off just a few moments, trying to gather a little bit larger army.
Now you notice Sean doesn't have a lot of drones at this mineral expansion. I mean, he's been making so many Mutilisks. He's got this 3rd expansion up, but he's not really capitalizing on what he could be.
So we're seeing some...
Okay, Sherwin moving out, but the Mutilisks... This is really coming. He's going to go and he picked off a medic. That is so annoying if you're Zerg.
Bringing those Mutilisks back to the SCVs. We have a missile turret opening fire on them.
Just do a little bit of damage. Just do whatever he can.
Backing off once more. Sean taking the opportunity to take out one Marine. Focus fire.
All right, picked off that SCV that was making the command center. Sean doing a very good job of buying time. You see, Sean really wants to kill off this command center.
And it's really an intricate dance that is taking place right now.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of back and forth. Because you know you don't want to lose a tank, you don't want to lose a medic to the Mutilisks needlessly, which Sean managed to kill that SCV that was making the command center. That puts him behind a couple seconds. Sean going in here now. Probably gonna pick off these Marines that aren't quite covered. Gets back out again.
Takes one down.
All right, that is not good. That's a lot of damage to those Mutilisks.
Almost finishing one off. 10 life left on one of those Zerg Mutilisks, and another 37 on a second.
Now you got to look in Sean's base. Sean is building up a massive army right now. This is not comfortable for Terran to be in right now. And
Lots of Zerglings, more Mutalisks.
Zerglings and Mutalisks. All right, Sean might be moving out with Mutalisks. He might see an attack coming up here. I'm curious to see if Sean had been upgrading Mutalisk attack or Mutalisk armor out of his Spire. I haven't seen anything up yet. Sean trying to kill this tower. I don't know if this is a good idea. He's going to kill these 2 towers. He's going to get back out of there.
Those Marines really need to try and cut them off before they make the escape.
You know, out of all the Terran players I've seen out there, Yosh is he's a very defensive player. It's a very frustrating thing to play against him. It's hard to get in his face. It's hard to do damage.
Well, Sean's trying to play very aggressively, and when you have a Zerg player playing aggressively with some Mutalisks to try and do some damage to that economy like that, he's going to have to do some defense.
You got a very, very aggressive player coming up against a very comfortably defensive player, and it's very interesting to see. Oh, there's some Marines. I would not want to be that Marine right now. There's all those Mutalisks after me.
Siege tanks going down in siege mode.
All right, Mutalisks coming here, still trying to do some damage. All Sean wants to do is just stall Terran as long as he possibly can before the big push comes out. He's doing a great job. I mean, if Zerg could build up an army big enough this time, he could just walk over Terran like he did the first game.
And he is doing an excellent job of buying himself.
Look at that SCV. He's got another SCV.
Stopping that bunker from going down. Keeping Sherwin occupied with those Mutalisks.
Sean putting his guys outside of his base right now.
While he amasses a larger army. Okay, we have some Hydralisks and some Zerglings staged
Those are probably going to be
just
more
outside
the
the ramp of the main base of Sherwin. I haven't last checked what is our siege tank count here. That could be damaging to those Hydralisks.
That's 3 siege tanks, but we're going to be seeing a lot of lurkers coming up here. This is exactly what Zerg wanted. I mean, I'll tell you something. We really got to hope the Terran can make it out of this one right now, because this is not an uncomfortable position to be in. You can see the Zerg's building up a massive force outside of the Terran's base. He's going in here with the Mutalisks dancing around his guys.
And we have
a lot of damage.
I didn't notice earlier, but we do have 2 starports down with command centers for Sherwin.
Yeah, these 2 starports are probably going to whoa. I heard a lot of Mutalisks die back there. Sean might have overstepped his limits.
Keeping those Mutalisks staged at the upper edge of the map. And Sean overall doing a great job just harassing Sherwin with those Mutalisks. I'm trying to take a look back what he is doing at home, but my eyes are just drawn to the center field as he has an incredible army of Zerglings, and now
this might be the frontal
well.
attack. Look at that big blue blob in the middle of the map. I mean, that is a lot of guys.
And Sherwin hasn't created anything that I can see at the moment. He either needs some science vessels so he can catch those lurkers, otherwise his ground forces are going to be absolute meat.
All right, we got a lot of lurkers, but Sherwin, he's playing it really defensively. We'll have to see.
Sean just staging those ground units outside of the ramp of Sherwin.
Sean beginning to consume the map now. He's got him contained. All right, lurkers on the move. Lurkers on the move. They might start to break in. No, he's going to use them to contain.
He uses 2 to burrow just on the corner.
Perhaps he's hoping that the medic marine will come out and chase those lurkers, and then once the lurkers run back, they'll get killed by the other 2 burrowed.
We have some more Hydralisks attacking the main base of Sherwin from the south side here. It's going to just stage, waiting for the proper opportunity to move in and try and do some attacking. They have made it so far undetected. We do have 2 science vessels now.
All right, these science vessels Mutalisks do not like science vessels. They irradiate. It does, it damages everything around it. Mutalisks come together, they can die really easily to it. But I'll tell you right now, I mean, you look at the map, and this is going to be tough for Terran. It doesn't mean Yosh can't do it, but this is definitely tough. I mean, Sean, 350 actions per minute guy. I mean, he's making out of all these hatcheries. I mean, there's a lot going on. Terran unsieging, perhaps decided it's time to move.
A 4th siege tank brought into action here for the army of Sherwin. Going back down into siege mode a little closer towards the army that Sean has amassed, and he's left all those Zerglings in midfield, and those are just going to be cannon fodder for those tanks.
All right, tanks deciding not to use siege mode.
Those sunken lurkers doing some damage to those tanks.
Now, you might find this hard to believe, but I can tell you right now, both these players probably have every unit here hotkeyed to something, and they're going to be controlling it as perfectly as possible. All right, Mutalisks going to come in, take a peek. Uh-oh. Mutalisks got out before they could get irradiated. Zerg's got to wait for the right move. Zerg screws this up, it could be game.
We have another hatchery down in the bottom right corner expansion, and a 5th hatchery up again. And we are seeing Sean expand like crazy now. If he can get the means and the resources to do so, we could see a very large army here very soon.
Now, pretty soon here, Yosh is about to catch Terran, Zerg a little bit off on his tech. Zerg's trying to tech to its final phase to make it as powerful as humanly possible. Terran's beginning to move out. The pressure's on. You notice there's this concave at the right, or right, I guess middle right of the screen, with these Zerg units just in a semicircle, just ready to flank when that moment comes.
Sean strategically positioning his units.
All right, irradiate started. All right, those vessels barely made it out of there.
We had some Scourge come in trying to do some damage to those science vessels. Some missile turrets going up. They're going to attack the Overlord here.
Both players 1-1 upgrades. Zerglings. All right, it started. It's happening. This could be it.
Lurkers moving in.
Burrowing. I don't think they're close enough. Terran moving back, doing a pretty good job here. Oh no, this is not good for Zerg. This is really not. This is a big surprise to me.
We have a scan down on those lurkers. They have been detected.
Can Zerg do this? If Terran does this,
moving in an incredible amount of Zerglings at the moment, trying to take out those Marines. They're doing an effective job, but Medic's going down.
It might not be enough. It might not be enough. Terran. Can Yosh be as good with mech as he can be with medic Marine?
We have another secondary force of Hydralisk and Zerglings waiting just outside where the last battle had taken place.
Now this is where it gets uncomfortable for Terran. He's in the middle of the map. He can get surrounded. This is not a race that wants to be surrounded.
3 science vessels at the moment.
He's in Zerg's hood right now, man. It's not. This could be dangerous.
Sean waiting for the opportunity.
Sean's got to start making guys. He's got to try to surround. Can he control this right? Tanks in the front, taking most of the damage.
Zerglings absolutely rushing in.
Vessels going down.
4, 5 tanks down. Medics going to be taking out just now. Zerglings chasing Marines back to the main base. Science vessels on the run. We have 1 tank left. It looks like 5 or 6 Marines, SCVs, and a medic. Yes. That was incredible damage by Sean.
Yeah, you got some medics wandering around in the middle of the map going, what am I doing here right now? Where are my Marines?
And the army that remains, we have Hydralisk joining the remaining Zerglings, another group of Zerglings joining the rest of the military that Sean has amassed, and they are staying just in the middle of the map here.
Terran's going to try to get that 4th expansion up. Now, I got to tell you, when I saw Terran lose all those vessels, I mean, that is not good for Terran. You want the vessels against the Zerg.
He lost all those tanks, too. He's not going to be able to do the damage to all those Zerglings he needs to because he won't have that splash damage from those siege tanks.
Yo's thrown up 3 more barracks in his expansion. I would be curious to see how much money Yosh has right now if he's spending it as effectively as Sean may be. You got to remember, these are 2 top players, but they're two great friends as well. I mean, they both wanted each other to do well on this.
Oh, we have some Ultralisks now.
Ultralisks, that is not good for Terran, but I mean, who knows? I mean, if I was in Terran's shoes right now, I'd probably try to get some drop ships, fly around the map, and maybe try to do some damage. But
7 Ultralisks now, and I don't even want to try and count these Zerglings that we have just below midfield here. It is a massive army.
Simply
Sean
massive
has accrued, and it is impossible to describe with words at the moment. 2 science
vessels coming to peek out. He's probably going to try to irradiate these Ultralisks, but you know that's really dangerous because the Scourge are just vessel hungry right now, man. They've been doing pretty well.
I heard a scan to go down at the moment. We have those factories trying to pump out siege tanks.
These guys are taking a peek and saying, "What do you have, Sean?" All right, that's okay. Zerg's decided. He said that's it.
We're moving in for the kill.
All right, this is it. This is the big battle.
Zerglings coming in.
Sieging up, bunkers, everything.
Heavy damage.
Irradiated Ultralisks. Actually, I think Terran can actually hold this. As much as I don't want him to, because my brothers deserve.
Ultralisks coming in. The irradiation down on 2 of those
this is
Ultralisks.
another big blow. You know, Zerg's doing everything right except for the part where it comes to killing the other guy. I mean, you know, he's got all his guys. He's got the whole map. But then every time he starts to attack them, he's got to move back out.
He lost so many units in that one attack. It just wasn't the right moment he thought it was.
You know what happened was he sent those vessels out. His 2 of his 7 Ultralisks, the meat of his army got irradiated, and he thought, you know, maybe I should try to see
it's time to back off and take another angle.
He thought.
So we're going to see another army move in to replace the one that was just taken out by Sherwin. We have some more Scourge waiting.
Okay, all right, here it is again. Yosh overextended himself there. He's getting a little cocky.
Taking those siege tanks. One is falling.
All right.
Falling.
Here we go. Get into it. Zerg units moving everywhere from all over the map. Scourge, Ultra Zerglings.
The bunker fell like butter.
All right, Scourge come in here. Going to kill anything they see.
Siege tanks going down. Those Ultralists taking them
More Zerg units.
very easily. Down to 2 siege tanks. Another
All right,
one
this is
will fall.
going to be too much. I don't know.
This is bad for Sherwin. Bad news. That entire army has been taken out.
This is something every Terran player's experienced, but I wouldn't want to experience it right now.
Reinforcements coming in from the south for Sean. Those Zerglings coming in to clean up whatever's left. Ultralists moving towards the northern
GG,
base.
that's it. Good game. Congrats. Very polite game.
Very nice.
Incredible players.
Well done. Well, what can you say?
All I got to say is those are some close games. It went, at first I saw that first game. I didn't know if Yosh was going to be able to come back, and Yosh dominated the second game, proving that he's one of the most powerful Terrans on Earth. Zerg just managed to get a good start and managed to keep on top in spite of his many blunders back there.
You know that map, we saw several attacks by Sean. He tried to take several different angles. A couple didn't work. He knew when to back off. And then he saw the prime opportunity at that last moment. He says, you know what, this is it, all or nothing. He took that first wave of infantry in. He brought the second wave in. Those Ultralists absolutely tearing everything apart. Siege tanks didn't stand a chance. The bunkers went down, moved the second row of Zerglings in to finish everything off, and it was all she wrote from there.
Yeah, it's just, Zerg's a race you got to keep under control. And, Sean's he's an out-of-control guy. And, he just... It was not a comfortable thing for Terran to be in at that moment.
Let's get another round of applause for Sean Plott. Excellently played.
Game.
Very nice game. Those two players. And that's it for the StarCraft final. Sean will move on. He has secured himself a first place win here.
Congratulations to Sean and Yosh for those great games, and congratulations to RS Gaming for doing so well. Thank you, WCG, for always supporting StarCraft.
And I also want to say, stay tuned, because this is the last of StarCraft, but it's not the last of the action we're bringing to you. We will be up here again with some Counter-Strike up next, and Warcraft 3 final will be later in the afternoon. And we'll bring that action back. I'm going to turn it over to our MC here live at the Manhattan Center Studios for the World Cyber Games 2005.